This is today is in Chile they celebrate fiestas patrias. So on this occasion we have invited an artist and also a Spanish teacher. Her name is Carla and she is from Chile. So the subject, the topic of the discussion today is art, music, art and social protests. The reason of choosing this topic is that last year in 2019 there were protests in Chile, and in the protests many artists came on the street, and they there was a very big event called Protestas de Mil Guitarras, con mil guitarras, so protest with 1,000 guitars. And also on 16th of September in 1973, Chilean artist Victor Zara was killed by the Pinochet regime. And this year is very important for Chile because this year, 50 years ago, in 1970, there was a government. First time it came into power by vote. The first socialist government of Chile and also of Latin America came to power. And after 3 years, on 11th September, exactly on the day when we remember this day, the world knows that on 11th September, the Twin Tower in the United States were bombed. But there was another September 11, which the world doesn't know about, or very less people talk about it. So this 11th September was actually, it was planned by the United States and CIA and the army of the Chile. So they decided, and they decided to pull down the government. And also, a few people say that they killed the president Allende, but some people say that he committed suicide. I do not know what exactly is the story, but government of United States felt that it is irresponsibility of the Chilean people to elect a socialist government, and this socialist government wanted to, or they did also, nationalized the copper mines and other national assets in that period. Also, they did land reform, and they did a lot of work in education, and like any other socialist government, it is exactly like the civil war when it happened in Spain. The Republican government, elected government by vote, was overthrown by power. So after that, Victor Zara, the Chilean musician, the guitarist, became the icon. And in that decade of 70s, there was a movement called Nueva Canción Chilena. I think the other artist, her name is, I forget her name. She is also very well known.
Violeta Parra?
Violeta Parra, yes. So I'm talking to Carla, who is from Chile, and she is also going to she's an artist who is learning Bharatanatyam and Kathak in India. So we will hear from her the importance of this day, and then after that, the role of the artists and musicians in the social protests. So thank you so much, Carla, for speaking to all of us. We know that as of now, very few people have joined us, but that is because after this live session, many people will watch this video, and Carla has prepared a presentation for the education of the Indian people who want to understand this topic. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ranjeet. Thank you for having me here for this opportunity of collaboration. Thank you to the Institute. I present myself. My name is Carla Mateus. I am from Chile. I am an art practitioner here. I study Bharatanatyam with Guru Satya Raju sir and Kathak with Purnacharya ma'am. I'm here today to talk about a little of the context in Chile. Then we can understand how art is being playing in the contemporary story. As Ranjeet said, today is 18 de septiembre, 18 September in Chile. It's Fiestas Patrias, national celebrations happening for independence. It's been 208 years of independence. But we will see through this contextualization that it's been a lot of troubles too. Democracy and independence not always is that pretty. So let's start. I prepared a presentation. I like a lot graphics and pictures. So yeah, I will share with you a little. So this is Chile. Chile is in South America. It's a very large and narrow country. We have a coast all the way with the Pacific Ocean. Here we can see like the map of the world. We are very, very south. And I would like to start a little like talking about these concepts, social movement, social change, I don't know, social system. So very briefly, so social movement is a group not formal of person or organizations that aims social change. They are looking for a change of the structure, and they usually emerge as a consequence of different social crises. A few of social movements that you can maybe know is like from ecologist or an animalist. Here in Chile, we have a lot of social movements related to environment, related to social rights. Also, the feminist movement is being very strong. These last years, we have seen it a lot in the streets. So this is like a little timeline of the story in Chile from the 60s. I called it political tensions because I will be focusing on that. So we'll start from the 60s. In 60s, something happened, that is a terremoto, an earthquake. It's a big earthquake that leaves the economy like quite bad. In this period also starts the Reforma Agraria, where the land reform. So there we can see a few farmers in the land in that those times. So it's a redistribution of the land, basically. Trying to give some more lands to the farmer and take a little this power of the landlords in that time. It was a huge movement that had a lot of support in the beginning. And with that also, as Ranjeet was telling, starts the nacionalización del cobre. That means like make the copper Chilean. We have a lot of mines of copper, and yeah, they were looking to nationalize it. So in It starts to, sorry, I'm just going to stop the video. So there is a coalition of political parties that is called La Unidad Popular. And they organized to get elect Allende, who wins in the year 1917. And his government has to face a lot of economical problems, like a world crisis in the 72. And they also have like a very problematic economic problematic economic due that was not supported by US. So all the rest politics made the situation, the economic situation, very difficult for Chile. So all this happens in the 70s. So in this context, bonds the Nueva Canción Chilena. This is a movement, a cultural movement that starts with these political changes in the 70s. Groups like Quilapayún, Inti Gimani, Victor Zara, Violeta Parra, they all come together to, through the music, sing about the reality in Chile, a reality that had a lot of poverty and misery. So what they focus is in rescue rhythms of popular music with popular instruments, even native instruments that are mixed with the popular music in those times. So yes, they were trying to recover this folkloric music. And even though they were not native people, they were leading this movement to recover the roots of the Latin American music. So one of them is Violeta Parra. She is a very famous singer, Chilean singer. She went to Europe too. She was also a very integral artist. She not only sing, she does other things. So yeah, this movement of Nueva Canción Chilena was very focused on relations with the people. As we can see here, they were always between the people with the farmers, with the kids, in the protest. Other artists that are very known by that time is Pablo Neruda, Nicanor Parra. They are poets. So what happened? In the 73, as Ranjeet was telling us, there is a golpe de Estado. That means that the military take the government of Allende down, who was, assassinated, that is my version, during the bomb in the palace where the governorships happened. After this golpe de Estado, it started dictatorship, a military dictatorship that is lead for Augusto Pinochet, who is commander of the army in that time in Chile. So what happened? A lot of repression happened there, political repression. So all these artists of La Nueva Canción Chilena, they are excluded from the country, exiled. Or some of them, as Ranjeet was telling us, Victor Zara, no, he was assassinated during this time. A lot of violations to the human rights happened. A lot of censorship for the artists. They silent this kind of music. And all what was related to originary or native people in Chile. So yes, this is Victor Jara. Victor Jara was one very important and known, how we said, fighter from social rights. I would like to share a small video of him. If we can see a little, maybe what he's about, what he's into. I'll just put the introduction. I'll look for a video with subs, then you can also understand if you don't speak Spanish. This is one of his most known songs that after, through all the rest of the history, it becomes quite often hymn of an himno of the protest.
Ahora quisiera hablarles a ustedes y cantarles, por supuesto, también, canciones de bandidos. Este bandido fue un hombre que incluso pasó 40 días y 40 noches enterrado hasta la cintura en el agua, en un túnel subterráneo, para que no lo pillara. Logró salvar con vida, porque era un bandido que atraía mucho a los demás. Logró salvar con vida y posteriormente ya en la superficie, bajo el sol asiático, oriental, luminoso y brumoso también de Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh logró la unidad de su país y conquistar una patria libre. A ese bandido, a Ho Chi Minh, a la libertad de Vietnam, fin alcanzada esta canción.
Interested, I want to point out part of the lyrics. Of course, the right of living peace. It's the sounds that we found in the song. No, he rescued a lot of folklore forms from Chile, but he also used electric instruments. This is how this new kind of music bonds with him and with all the movement of La Nueva Canción Chilena. It's Victor Jara. So yeah, after the 73, when dictatorship starts, there is no more democracy in the country. And the army takes the power and they establish one junta militar, the military joined, and they are this government in charge. So these are pictures of the day of they threw bombs through this palace where Allende was inside. So yeah, it was very, very destroyed. A lot of people was detenida. They were taken by the militaries. A lot of them disappeared that same day. And the junta militar controla el país. They control the country under a dictatorship. This is a very interesting video where we can see a little of Pinochet.
A las 9 de la noche, los jefes de la sublevación se presentan.
And the junta militar.
Las Fuerzas Armadas y de Orden han actuado en el día de hoy solo bajo la inspiración patriótica de sacar al país del caos que en forma aguda lo estaba precipitando el gobierno marxista de Salvador Allende. La Junta mantendrá el poder judicial y la asesoría de la Contraloría. Las cámaras quedarán en receso hasta nueva orden. Eso es todo.
So yeah, this regime, it's very characteristic for an authoritarian model, very extreme right side wing, very anti-communist, They prohibited the partidos políticos, political parties. They prohibited sindicatos, when workers come together. And they also put a curfew for most of the years where they're in the power. In the economic ambit, Pinochet started a restructuration that it was thought by Chicago boys. These are persons that they come from the Chicago University of Economy, that they start a series of neoliberal reforms in the 75 that brought a certain economic growth to the country. But yeah, they also bring with themselves a lot of neoliberal reforms. In the 74, it was created the DINA, that is an organization, intelligence organization, that they have the faculty, the power to detain and to take people in centers, official and non-official centers, where they had the faculty to do whatever they want. A lot of people was detained and a lot of people were disappeared during that time. It was justified in measurements to finish with communism. That was a kind of sickness for this dictatorship. So yeah, that's how they had the work to eliminate any opposition, any political opposition to the dictatorship. There was a lot of torture. There was a lot of disappearance. So during the 80s, still in dictatorship, it comes this young group of artists that comes to voice out the disagreement and the voice of the young people against the dictatorship. This is Augusto Pinochet. A lot of protests happen also during the 80s. Where is this protest happens? In the 80s, Pinochet starts a plebiscito to make a new constitution for the country. This constitution is made closed doors, of course. So yeah, they are los prisioneros, in Spanish is the prisoners. They start to voice out a lot of uncomfortness and angry and all what the young start to voice out against the dictatorship. So then what happens in So then there is a plebiscito to see if this dictatorship should continue or not. This was in the 88. There is a campaign that is see for Pinochet to continue, no for him not to continue. So we have a lot of protests during that time too, trying to promote the no for a dictatorship finish.
So, Carla, I would just ask, because recently also Chile is going to vote on 22nd of October.
Correct.
For a similar thing. So maybe you can talk about that also after when you're done or whenever you wish to.
Yes. So yeah, that constitution is still going on. So we are under a constitution that was made under a military government, where yeah, only a close group of people decide what is going on there, and it's characterized by a lot of neoliberal politics or alignments, and these had a lot of consequences for people. Not like for the elite. The elite is very, how you said, beneficiada. They had a lot of benefits for them under this constitution. So yeah. So yeah, the no wins. And Augusto Pinochet leaves the charge of president, no, or in the government in the 90s. And then we have the first president in democracy, that is Patricio Aylwin. And here are all the presidents after Aylwin. 5 presidents in democracy. So what happened with this comeback to the democracy? There was a lot to repair, starting for all the people that was disappeared and tortured. So they were lot of investigations like Informe Right and Commission Balech, that they start to determine guilties and responsibles of all these atrocities made in the dictatorship. The families also already in the 80s start to reclaim where are the families. There was too many people disappear and torture. There was such a trauma for the country that we have a museum. It's called Museo de la Memoria, where yeah, there is a lot of archives came together, a lot of documents, a lot of pictures, a lot of testimonies. Yeah, it's quite hard to go and see it, but it really opens to what happened and what people suffer during those years. A lot of people still disappear. A lot of families they never found again their loved people. So yeah, what happened with this constitution and with this new economic system that the dictatorship puts into the country? These economists that do this all these reforms, they come from the Universidad de Chicago. So they come from the school of Milton Friedman. That is a very capitalistic neoliberal side school. So yeah, they assume this work of treat the economy in Chile, even with the help of the CIA, no, as Ranjeet also mentioned. So yeah, they actually, Chicago boys, they were very anxious. They were very excited to go and take this reform, economic reform in Chile. For them was a quite of experiment to to put neoliberalism in a Latin American country. So yeah, what happened with neoliberalism? They liberate the economy. That's how it's called. They are libre comercio, free commerce. But what that means? That means that there is a lot of reduction in the public spending, and there is no much intervention of the states in the economy, and the economy is always in favor of the private sector. And who is the private sector? It's principally who consume, who has the capital to consume, the money to buy, basically, and the business peoples, the one that can sell. That's how there is a very strong capitalistic system in Chile from the 80s. So the production is only to make ganancias for the riches. We also have a libre mercado, free market. Then where the restrictions again from the government are not very much. And what happened with this? First, we have that consequences of the free market is not only it's a thing of companies, of business people, so this also affects the regular people. How? For example, in the work, the laws for workers are less, and they benefit more for the people who is in charge of the work. What else we have with the free market? We have a lot of privatization. In Chile, slowly start to privatize very natural resources, from water to mines. So most of our resources are sold to from companies that bought there in Chile to other companies that are outside. That means that all what is earned does not go really to the people. It goes to just a few, just an elite. So that's how Chile starts to see the consequences of neoliberalism. How in this, what is the word? This big difference starts to show up. So yeah, we can start to see these big cities, very developed. Chile starts to promote outside like a very developed country. We have all this culture of globalization coming. No, we have McDonald's, we have malls. It's development coming to the country. But on the other side, there is still a lot of poverty, a lot of misery. So yeah, we have like these big, huge buildings and commerce, but we have the people that does not have much. So what happened? All this caused a lot of tension in the people, who said in the regular people. And in 2010, when Sebastian Piñera started his government, he actually was the first centro-derechista, center-right, in being elected after the dictatorship. Then starts a lot of social movements, movimientos sociales, in pro of get back very basic resources as water. So yeah, the biggest protest in those times was ISS, one region in Chile, very south. where they wanted to privatize the water and sell it to others. And we also have this big students movement in 2010. What is this movement asking? They are asking for education. So yeah, there was a time when Allende was in the government. He tried to make reforms to all have free education, or accessible education. But with neoliberalism, education becomes a business. So it's first very expensive to access to it. And the system of education is also very structured for the consumers. There is not a sense of social rights or social wellness. That is a big tension that are between the people and the economic elite that is getting all these big assets from their business with natural resources, with education. We also have this problem with the pension system. Pension system was also privatized. So it was, promoted by the media as a big, huge, great change in the pension system, where you will be getting back whatever salary you were earning in your better days. What is not at all the reality today. Most of the people, aged people, it's in really bad conditions. They have less than the minimum salary. So again, all these changes were on aims of benefit the elite economic. This students movement they verbalize a lot this tension. This is a huge movement, and I would like to share a video about it. So yeah, they were aiming for a better education, a free education, education that does not want to make business and wants to really educate the people of the country. And also, here we start to see these artistic expressions. No, because we have the protest, we have the marchas, no, where the people goes out and ask for things. But the students also found a new way to express their demands. This is also like attention because there's a lot of repression again in this protest. So the movement is very criminalized by the media. So they also look for a way to protest in a different way. have these two phases of the social movement in 2011, the students. What we can say for sure is that this movement start to tension and to show this support to values that are not into material things. So, for example, equal rights and how important is ecology, how important is the human rights. And yeah, again, a lot of social rights that are necessary, that neoliberalism has been making business all this time in the benefit of the elite, economical elite. So here we see a few students. That year we could see a lot of new ways to protest through performances, body paintings, asking us for free education. We have a system of becas that are when the government covers a little for you to study, but again, the requirements are really not realistic for for the ones that are aiming to go to university, especially. So after 2011, there is still inequality on the country. Chile still develops a lot, it's still selling a lot of the resources, and there's still a lot of poor people. There is still not a pension system that is efficient for aged people. And we still can see this inequality, too tensioned. So yeah, this tension brings us to 2019. So first, in 2018, Piñera is president again. 2018, this center of the city of Santiago, that it was called Plaza Italia, it became resignificado, remaining during these protests. So from one side, there is like the recuperation of the role of the citizen as someone that is active and is reflexive and can have an opinion about the city and about the states. So they are making clear that the citizen participation exists and there is a possibility to rebuild the state and all the rights to all the citizen rights. So that's how the city starts to show a new face. This Plaza Italia is not called like that. It was renamed as Plaza de la Dignidad, Dignity Square. It aims to show how much repression was during these times. Because again, of course, we have repression. Chilean government is always being repressing with the police force. And one very interesting thing that happened in this time is the artistic interventions. So yeah, the city starts to become a big lienzo, a big canvas to show the uncomfortness and the angry of people. That's how we can see a lot of interventions all over Santiago in the center. So we not only have visual art as in the streets, it's all paint. We also have a few performances. I would like to show a video about the art in during the estallido social.
Los monumentos que yerguen la historia de Chile se convirtieron en el lienzo de un malestar social que se mantiene en las calles desde hace 5 semanas. Las protestas antigubernamentales y los duros enfrentamientos con las fuerzas de seguridad han dejado a Santiago de Chile irreconocible, lejos del orden y la calma que ofrecía el llamado oasis latinoamericano. Estaciones de metros, fachadas de hoteles y cientos de comercios han sufrido actos de vandalismo. Sin embargo, entre los daños se puede leer mensajes que engloban las denuncias de cientos de manifestantes.
Es impresionante cómo está descrito de aquí hasta la Plaza Italia. Me he detenido en la Alameda, es impresionante. Y es la expresión del pueblo. Yo sé que Piñera no va a venir aquí a leer, pero se va transmitiendo y se va expresando la gente. O sea, ¿a dónde vamos a ir a parar? Sé que hay anarquía, que hay grupos anárquicos, pero son los menos. El enojo de la gente es cada día más.
Creo que las paredes gritan historia ahora, actualmente. Me encantaría que quedara así.
Pero hacer historia tiene un costo. Más de 200 personas han perdido ojos o sufrido lesiones oculares graves. Human Rights Watch denuncia graves violaciones de derechos humanos por parte de la policía chilena. A pesar de los intentos de diálogo y un acuerdo para desterrar la constitución heredada del dictador Augusto Pinochet, el presidente Sebastián Piñera no logra calmar el descontento ni recuperarse de su impopularidad.
So yeah, what did say the lady there was very interesting, as she was referring to these anarchy group movements, or that is like a feeling that there is in the city. There is so much chaos in the city that media and yeah, the elite again is telling this is anarchy. The Chilean president says, Piñera says, we have an enemy. He declared a war against some invisible enemy that is basically the people that is protesting in the streets. But what the people is doing, they are showing their anger through all these art expressions. So during this time, we also have like a big performance, feminist performance, where patriarchy is denounced, and a lot of women take over the streets, making a performance, making a big appearance in the scene of this social movement. So yeah, this social movement is a lot of not only it's not one specific thing. It's a lot of rights. It's a lot of things that are being vulnerable through the history of the country. This performance is to denunciar, is to talk out about the injustice against women in the country. How there is no justice for different injustice that we suffer as rapists, as rape, sorry, or yeah, we will see a little. It's quite strong.
El patriarcado es un juez que nos juzga por nacer, y nuestro castigo es la violencia que no ves. El patriarcado es un juez que nos juzga por nacer, y nuestro castigo es la violencia que ya ves. El femicidio. Impunidad para mi asesino.
a very famous performance that was repeated all over the world. It is also, I think, important to mention during the dictatorship, there was centers just for women. A lot of atrocities were happening there. So there is a lot of trauma in the memory, for sure, of generations of women and all people that was repressed. So here we have like an icon of the protests. He was very known from the social movement of the students in 2011, El Matapacos. He was always with the students during the protest. Matapacos is like the cop killer. And yeah, then he eventually died, but he became an icon of the social protests. Another artistic intervention during these times of the estallido social is these projections, big projections that are showing the demands in the country. Nothing of this is official, nothing of this is with permission. All these are artistic interventions. So here we have Plaza de la Dignidad with the protests happening. The protests only stop after the COVID situation start to happen. So yeah, we have votations on this October to change, hopefully change the constitution that the dictatorship left us. Another form of manifestation is to play, to hit these pots to make noise. It's a very famous picture that it's being around about estallido social. Very iconic. Yo apruebo is the, it's, I accept, I approve the new constitution. It's what we are fighting for now. So how art is playing the role here during the social protests? It's for sure a way to show things in a non-institutionalized way, where the misery is shown and where the anger is shown. So it's more like intervention, it's like a disruption, an artistic disruption in the urban space. If we know that art celebrates life, I think art also needs to be, or in this case, as showing to be critic, where it's showing us the inequalities and the conflicts. So yeah, art is not always pretty, or it's not always about this celebration of life. It's also about to visualize the repression. It's like that, like this critical art. It deconstruye, it unbuild in a way some hierarchies that are being in art or in genders of art, and it creates new scenes for the expression, and not only for the expression of artists. All these performances show how everybody can be part of the art expression too, and that it makes more it brings more unity to the movement too. So yeah, I would like to finish with a video that happened, something happened in 2019. This song we heard at the beginning, El Derecho de Vivir en Paz, on those times, on the 70s, when Victor Jara was singing for the right of living peace. Now it comes back, and it always comes back for the look of, for the search of equality in the country. So we are going to see this. So it's actually really moving how all people come together with any instrument, with a pot, with a flute, with a guitar, with their voices, to, through a song, voice out the descontento, the unwellness, and the need to have this social right. This is part of the same. This is another angle where we can see, yeah. So yeah, I think it's very interesting how art and performances are bringing people together to building new meanings of icons that are being there for so long. And how it's not the artist the one that is the central thing here, it's the art himself that is bringing this manifestation, this visualization of the malestar, of what is bad for the people, what is really making unwellness, and what is the rights that they are not having, and they are so in need of. And it's very, very shown in the reality. Okay, so I don't know if there is any question about something in specific. I had the lucky to participate in the 2011 movements, and after that there was a lot of the students keep protesting all the time. There was a lot of universities that were taken protesting, asking for free education and stop of the lucro, stop of the business with the education too. And with them, a lot of other demands come, like the pension system, the environment demands. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Carla. It was a wonderful presentation, and there were many things which we didn't know, and our media generally doesn't show us the things about the Latin American countries. So many movements of women, movements of artists and people who are expressing themselves through art on walls. So this kind of thing, which is there in Latin America and in Chile, we do not have such things in our people are, I think, I don't know, people in India in general, they are either scared or they think what other people will think. So we are not very expressive people. Also, we see that there is a lot of pressure that when you protest, it is something, or when you say something against someone, this is not acceptable. Expression is considered as a kind of challenge. Disagreement is considered as a challenge. So people are labeled as enemies. So that is the reason people do not express themselves.
Yeah, it's quite hard to think that we have to go through very, big violations of human rights and of our social rights, to people be this angry to just now to come out. For sure, before there was a lot of scare, no? After military dictatorship, there was a scare that if you voice out, someone could take you and you disappear and nobody see you again. So yeah,
Yes,
it took a lot of time, I think, to voice out also all these discontentos, all these things that people is demanding.
Yes, we read about those desaparecidos in Latin America. They were coordinated. The governments of the dictators of these countries, 4 or 5 countries where dictatorships were there during the same time. They used to work in a coordinated manner. So people who are disappearing in Chile, they might be killed in some other country.
Yeah, so the DINA had international agents, and yeah, this is all the organization through these all dictatorships lead and organized and supported by US.
This was Operation Condor, I think.
Yeah, big operation.
Okay, so I think since we have 10 minutes, because this Chilean Constitution is always in news. That, as you said, that this constitution which Chile has is made by Pinochet.
Pinochet and the Chicago Boys, no, the School of Friedman and neoliberal and capitalistic school.
Yeah. So again, on 22nd or in October Sunday, they are going to, Chileans are going to vote. What is that vote about?
Correct. So the votations are specifically if we want the change of the constitution or not, and how it's going to happen. So it can happen as just a politician elite, they build it, or only the experts, or we can bring it from the people. So yeah, that is the votation. It's supposed to happen in April. Due COVID, it was changed. So yeah, now October, it's going to happen. Everybody is already moving their, I don't know, only through social media right now because they can go out. Yeah, they are right now in quarantine in Chile. The situation of COVID is not being really well managed. So yeah, a lot of things are happening only digitally, not much protests. That's why they stop only because COVID.
In
So yeah.
many countries of Latin America, the constitution, or especially I can say that in the last 15, 16 years, there are very progressive changes in the constitutions by the progressive and socialist governments. And there are many countries where now they have right to recall or referendum kind of thing. How is the constitution of Chile? We do not have in India, we do not have, once we elect someone, we cannot change anything for 5 years. How is the constitution in Chile? Do you have any right to recall or referendum?
I don't know. I really don't know if that can happen. I just know that recently it was changed that one president, it can be re-elected immediately. That is there for
Okay.
sure.
So for second term or third term, there are restrictions in some countries.
Yes, yes. Still, it can be re-elected in the next one, but they can have two governments.
Two terms, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Good. So thank you. And I think last thing, so you participated in that movement for the education?
Yeah, yeah. So I entered to university 2011, and the social movement started. It was quite hard. Personally, I never participate about something like this. The only thing that I have in mind was these stories that you hear, because the thing is, in school, dictatorship is not teach as such.
Yeah, education has also not changed after the dictatorship.
Correct. So yeah, that part of the history is also very blurred. So yeah, the only idea that I have of protest is like these things that happen in dictatorship, and people was disappeared and killed, and the memory of our grandparents and parents are very like from a scare place too, of the protest of the social movement is something dangerous. So yeah, I found myself in the university with this big movement, and I start to learn. I start to learn about little politics, about the system, what is an economic structure or a social structure, and yeah, and the fact that you are with so many people too, it brings together a lot of common things that you never realized that were there. So many inequalities that you always seen in the street, but you never question yourself. So it was very, very interesting to live that time in the history. We also take over universities. Yeah, we stay inside for months and trying to fight for the right of free education. Right now, a lot of students are in a huge debt with the state because they take scholarships from them. And the thing is, they are not even in debt with the state. They are in debt with private banks, because there is no such a help from the state. The states subsidize everything. So everything is private. Even the debts that you take with the states are actually debts with private banks. So yeah, it's a really bad situation for
educational loan which they offer.
Correct.
Yes. So there is a parliamentarian in Chile currently, Camila Vallejo.
Yeah.
So I think she is the product of that movement which you were part of.
Yes, she voiced out a lot in the 2011. She was the vocera, the voice of the Federación de Estudiantes, Students Federation in that time. Yeah, she voiced out a lot of demands, and eventually she became part of the Congreso Nacional, the Congress.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she still maintains his alignment with social movements, also with women's rights. Yeah, and there's a few other leaders of the student movements that are there too right now in the Congreso Nacional. There are part of the politicians now that decide things. Some 2 or 3. 4 maybe, yeah. So yeah, this movement also brought a lot of new generations of politicians and also new political parties that came from this movement only.
Yes, if there is no student movement, where will the country get the new leadership from?
Correct. There is
So
a lot of a new
definitely.
generation voicing out these equalities and demand.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we need trained people in politics who understand, who are educated, and who understand national and international issues, social, economic, and other kind of issues. So we need such people, definitely.
Totally, but it's very difficult. I think I never received that kind of education. I had it just because it was part of a movement, and I was taught by my own peers. So if we don't have that base of know what is politics or what is economy, what is happening in the world, is
exactly.
We can't have an opinion, or we don't know really what is happening. Yeah, education is very necessary, and quality education for sure. Not an education that just serves to the economy, to the monies, and I don't know. It's some quality education to be better human beings, are for sure active citizens.
Yes, responsible citizens. But unfortunately, the education which we have now, people say that young people or the students should not participate in the politics, should not be part of any political or social movements. So they should they should just ignore that there is a politics which exists in our country. So that is how the neoliberalism is actually teaching the governments and the people all over the world that no, education is separate from politics, and students should not have any role in social and political changes. This is what neoliberalism is teaching all over the world.
Correct. It's part of the system to voice down the new generations and keep maintaining the status quo. No.
Yes. So I think we are reaching. It's almost 8:30. So we had a few people who were watching us and who are still connected with us. So we would like to thank them, and people who will watch this video later. They will find this video a lot of interesting facts about the Chilean social and political movements, and also what is happening in the country, what has happened, like from 60s to now. You showed us the complete political picture. So we are very thankful to you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, and we all have learned a lot, and we will keep having such kind of interactions in future. So
thank you
so much, Carla.
Gracias.
Thanks to all the people who attended, who watched, and who will be watching us this recorded live Facebook later. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ranjeet. Adios. Bye.
Adios. Bye.